Ever since the earliest days of the medium, games have sought to connect people together, and perhaps there's no better way to do that than engaging in some friendly co-op action. While the popularity of the genre has certainly waned down in recent years, there are still more than enough co-op games to look out for in the near future. To that effect, here are 15 such co-op games for 2022 and beyond. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. This Borderlands spin-off sees players taking on increasingly tough enemies and bosses in groups of 3 as they complete levels to get across to better loot. Set against the backdrop of a tabletop role-playing game with Tiny Tina returning as a dungeon master, Tiny Tina Wonderlands features the same number-crunching first-person shooter action that has come to define the Borderlands franchise. Gotham Knights. Taking place in a Gotham City without the iconic Batman, Gotham Knights puts players in the shoes of Robin, Nightwing, Batgirl, and Red Hood as they work together to save this crumbling city from the Court of Owls. While it's possible to go through this story solo, it's designed with co-op in mind, and as such, players will be working together and playing off of each other's strengths to best out the toughest challenges in the game using the same combo-heavy combat system of prior Batman Arkham games. Gotham Knights releases for all major console platforms and PC on October 25th, 2022. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Developed by Rocksteady Games of Batman Arkham fame, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League sees players assuming the role of some of DC's most famous anti-heroes as they answer the call of duty to save Metropolis from the Justice League, who are under the control of Brainiac. Up to 4 players can take control of Harley Quinn, Deadshot, King Shark, and Captain Boomerang, who will have markedly different powers and subsequently different roles to play in a fully decked-out squad. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League has very recently been delayed to 2023. It releases for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. REDFALL. Arcane Lion's upcoming cooperative shooter REDFALL definitely turned many heads when it was revealed during last year's E3. Players will be clearing out the vampire-infested town of REDFALL by working together as a team and using their supernatural abilities in tandem with each other to maximize their chances of success. We haven't seen any proper gameplay as of now, but if Arcane's track record is anything to go by, it should end up being a solid game nevertheless. REDFALL releases for Xbox Series X and S and PC sometime in the summer of 2022. Evil Dead: The Game. Saber Interactive's upcoming Evil Dead: The Game will see players reprising the role of popular characters from the Evil Dead franchise, including but not limited to Ash Williams, Kelly Maxwell, and Pablo Simon Bolivar. Taking place in iconic sets from the movies, players can either work together to survive zombie hordes or participate in PvP gameplay for a change. Additionally, it also features iconic weapons of the franchise such as the likes of Ash's chainsaw, making it a must-try for fans of this media property. Evil Dead: The Game releases for all major console platforms on PC on May 13th, 2022. LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. Developer Traveler's Tales' long-awaited LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga is easily one of the most ambitious LEGO games of recent memory. Featuring a lengthy campaign that spans over the course of 9 entire movies and starring over 300 characters, LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga is looking to be a pretty meaty package. Thankfully, you can bring a buddy along for the ride, although fans should note that co-op is only limited to local split screen, so online competitive multiplayer is out of the cards for now. LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga releases for all major console platforms and PC on April 5th, 2022. Skull and Bones. Skull and Bones has been a long time coming, and while its development hasn't been the smoothest, its premise is certainly promising. Players will be commanding their pirate ships in the Caribbean Sea in search of plunder and resources to upgrade their vessels and take on even higher challenges. The gameplay is built upon naval combat, but keep in mind this is a live service game with both co-op and PvP elements. Skull and Bones doesn't have a release date at this point in time. Warhammer 40k Darktide. Set against the backdrop of the planet Atoma Prime, Warhammer 40k Darktide sees players taking the role of Imperial Guardsmen as they protect the planet from a chaos infiltration. The gameplay revolves around battling hordes of enemies using both long-range weapons and brutal melee attacks, which should be a consistently fun affair if prior entries in the franchise are anything to go by. Warhammer 40k Darktide releases for Xbox Series X and S and PC in spring of 2022. Sons of the Forest. A follow-up to smash hit survival game The Forest, Sons of the Forest sees players once again stranded in a remote location. You'll have to use your crafting skills, wits, and numerous resources lying around to survive in what's looking to be one hell of a nightmare. Of course, you don't need to go in alone, as the multiplayer co-op mode from The Forest will be returning for the sequel as well. Sons of the Forest releases on May 20th, 2022 for PC. PALWORLD. As the name subtly gives away, developer Pocket Pair's upcoming PALWORLD is a game that's all about collecting Pokemon with guns. Pals, in an open-world sandbox that can be tackled either solo or in co-op. Additionally, there are also accompanying crafting and survival mechanics alongside the ability to ride your pals through this open world in search of many exotic resources. It looks to be a steaming pot of promising ideas, and we can't wait to jump into PALWORLD when it releases for PC sometime in 2022. The Day Before. Developer Fantastic's The Day Before looks to be a mix of The Division and The Last of Us in the best way possible. Set against the backdrop of a post-apocalypse, players will be fighting off hordes of the undead with brutal gunplay. You'll also meet a ton of other players in your way, and you'll have the option to either befriend them for healthy co-op or antagonize them and take all their goods for yourself. The Day Before releases for PC on June 21st, 2022. Tectonica. Tectonica is a game that's all about building factories on alien planets. A group of players has to explore their surroundings to find resources and craft tools and technologies of increasing complexity to make their factories as technically sound and efficient as possible. Tectonica also features destructible terrain, which should factor into the gameplay as well. Tectonica releases for PC sometime in the near future. Overwatch 2. Blizzard Entertainment's Overwatch has established itself as one of the very best competitive shooters on the market, thanks to a visually and functionally distinct cast of characters that are all equally fun to play and boast high skill ceilings. Its much anticipated follow-up, Overwatch 2, will be fleshing out the co-op experience with the addition of story missions that will pit the roster of both returning and new characters against waves of AI-controlled enemies. That's all on top of the improvements and changes to Overwatch's multiplayer offerings, making it an even meatier package this time around. Overwatch 2 releases for all consoles and PC sometime in the near future. Saints Row. Set against the sun-draped city of Santa Iso, publisher Deep Silver's upcoming reboot of Saints Row is a game that's all about causing carnage in the most creative ways possible. And what better way to do that than calling in some buddies for friendly destruction? Up to 2 players can explore the city freely without any restrictions using drop-in and drop-out co-op, and participate in a multitude of missions that doles out rewards that the guest can carry over into their world as well. Saints Row releases for all major console platforms and PC on August 23rd, 2022. The Division Heartlands. A free-to-play game set in the universe of The Division, The Division Heartlands will see players exploring the world fighting the many different kinds of enemies and farming loot and resources of increasing rarity to level up their characters and take on even tougher challenges. Officially confirmed details about the game remain scant for now, but if the previous 2 games are anything to go by, The Division Heartlands should end up being yet another fun co-op shooter. The Division Heartlands is currently slated for release on all major console and PC platforms sometime during the fiscal year 2022 to 2023. And with that, we reached the end of the video. Have anything to say? Let us know in the comments below. Also, we upload new videos every single day on Gaming Bolt, so please consider subscribing as it really helps us out. Thanks for watching.